All right, Hard Rockology Show. The band is called Idyllwild. The song is called This Dawn, and let's welcome them to the Hard Rockology Show.
Hey, this is Nikki Lee.
Hi, this is Suzanne Slair. Hey, this is Melanie Dilorenzo.
All right, guys, we want to. It's going great. We want to thank you guys for joining us on the Hard Rockology Show. Why don't you go ahead and tell everybody out there what's going on? I mean, you got a brand new album coming out, so why don't you tell the listeners out there when can we expect to hear, or when can we expect the new release from Idyllwild?
You can expect to hear a lot of speed riffs, punk, rock, a lot of great carved-out songwriting from the album. And we'd like to press it to vinyl. We're going to be starting to sell merch at our next show, February 22nd at The Good Hurt at 9 p.m. That's over here in Los Angeles. We'll have some demos to sell then from our album.
All right, now I'm going to ask you, Suzanne, because originally you were in a band called Glycean. Was your original band?
Glycean, yes.
Yeah, Glycean. You know, I mean, why the name? Why the name change? And what exactly? How did you go from that band into Idyllwild? So why don't you tell us what happened there? Because I know there was some lineup change in your original band, and I guess what we come up with now is you have the two new members. You have Nikki and you have Melanie in the band now.
You know, basically everything changed when I moved from Austin to Los Angeles, and different lineup, different sound, whole different level of intensity. So, yeah.
The meaning of Idyllwild is beautiful and wild, so it kind of fits what we're about.
Sounds like a fresh new start. That's what it is, Matt. In case you got confused there, you know? I mean, one band's over. This is the new band. Well, I mean, like I said, I'm liking what I'm hearing so far, and the fact that you guys are a three-piece, which you don't see a lot of three-pieces now, let alone a three-piece that's all female members. I mean, it's a pretty unique thing that you guys got going on there. I mean, how did the three of you guys get together?
Magically.
Well, Nikki and I have known each other since we were teenagers, and we met Melanie here in L.A., and we just, you know, we're all lifers. We're in this for life, and it's really cool to meet two other committed women, really cool women that are into this, and, you know.
The really cool thing is that we're all classically trained musicians.
All right, now, Suzanne, I know you're from Canada. I know you trained in opera, and I know you have a classical background. I guess I'll ask that. You did that transition into the hard rock, punk type of music style. Now, you're all saying you're all classically trained. You got Nikki now. I'll ask you, Nikki, what are you classically trained on? I mean, you play some great bass.
Thanks.
Actually, I am a musical theater performing artist and classically trained soprano coloratura, and that's where Suzanne and I met. We met at the American Musical and Dramatic Academy in New York City, and we were best friends and roommates and went to school together and were performing artists on the musical theater stage. So it's an interesting, transition that, we would end up playing in a band together later on.
Now, Melanie, I know you pound the skins really well. You're probably one of the better female drummers out there now. Also classically trained as well?
I'm actually both classically trained and jazz trained. My degree is actually in jazz drumming from the University of North Florida. I definitely was the I don't know how you can say the rebellious one of the music program. I was into like the rock, the metal, like the rap, and pop drumming. So I definitely was the rebellion of the jazz school.
No, I mean, all being classically trained, I mean, you have that background. I mean, what possessed the three of you guys to sit there and go, you know what, I guess the classical stuff is great, but this is what we really want to do, which, listening to the material, it does have that kind of like punky, hard rock type of feel to it. I mean that's a big difference from classically being trained to doing something like that.
Not really. I mean, all the metal thrash riffs are very classical. I sent you a rock song and a punk song, basically. We have other stuff that, that are longer in length, so I didn't send them to the show, obviously. But music is music,
Yeah.
Blues, rock, roll, jazz. It's all very intertwined. Good music is good music, and you amplify classical music, you get metal. You amplify blues and, shred it up a little and you get rock. It's really not that far off. And without the classical training, I don't know, I'm just thankful for the training I've had. I really am. And it's different songwriting too.
I mean, it definitely makes you a cleaner and well-playing musician, and then you just take what you know that you learned at school and take what you know that you learned in your heart, and then it just makes, good music.
It's learning to be authentic to who you are, really, and that's what's coming out in the music. It's, we have something to say, and it's allowing that flow to come through you, and when you're trained, you can do it magically.
Well, I'm going to have to agree with you because I already knew the answer before I asked it, because there was a lot of hard rock, heavy metal musicians out there that are classically trained, that could play that style of music, and I think that gives them a different perspective when they're playing the music. And like you guys just said, you bring all that to the music, and like you said, if it's jazz, you bring it up. If it's something else, you bring it up, or even some of the classical pieces. I mean, I think you have to understand that type of music to really perfect the music that you want to play.
Definitely, yes.
So you guys made a video for the song Too Close to Break. I mean, what was that like making a video? I mean, is it what you guys thought it'd be like making a video for one of your songs?
No, not at all. I didn't realize I'd be waterboarding in the middle of it. No, that was filmed in Austin, actually, before I came out here, and we're going to be doing another video soon out here in LA, but that one actually was really cool to make. I didn't expect to, like I said, be punching people or waterboarding them, but it happened. I listened to the director, so... That's really all you can do. Why are you punching someone to that? Because the director told me to.
So you guys are in the LA area. So what's your take on the scene in the Los Angeles area? I mean, have you met a lot of other bands and stuff? I mean, what do you think about what's going on in the music business right now?
I think everyone's just trying to figure out what is going on. With the internet and everything changing, everyone's still kind of catching up to the technology in terms of albums and songs being the main source of income, touring and selling and merch and everything. So it's changed a lot. And I think there's a lot of new stuff that's just coming through the cracks of the city and up through, the creative scene that are new and cool. And, LA has a lot of that glam rock from the 80s still in it. And I know we all love that era, but there's so much new stuff out there. I think there's a lot of cool new stuff coming, There's a lot of, you have to weed through a lot of stuff, but it's there. It's there. There's cool stuff out there.
Now, you guys have the show coming up on the 22nd. You guys are playing the Good Hurt nightclub. Now, during your set, how much of the new material that's going to be on your upcoming EP or long play or demo, how much of that stuff do you guys plan on playing at the show?
Probably the whole set. We're really promoting this album, so it's going over really well. People actually are liking the, once again, classically in tune song, the more of the metal stuff, I guess. And we're also doing a treatment for our musical, and where it's all different styles of hard and heavy rock. So we'll probably be playing some of those. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff going on.
All right, so I'll ask this question. You guys, of course, I'll ask this: influences as far as what musicians influenced you the most, probably to, I guess, inspire you to do what you're doing right now. So I'll ask you first, Suzanne. If you had to pick a couple musicians that basically you're saying, yeah, that's a musician that influenced me the most.
Ooh, geez, there are so many. It's almost not a fair question. Geez, Adrian Smith, Stephen Clark, Angus Young, Malcolm Young, Bon Scott, Janis Joplin, Joan Jett, Debbie Harry. My God, there's so many. Pennywise.
I mean, so I guess in a way, I mean, when you're up on stage, are you kind of encompassing all those influences into your act and your performance?
No, you can't think about that. You just get up there and go. Ultimately, it's you and your energy coming through. But everything that you've heard, of course, everything leaves a mark on your soul. Everyone you touch, everything you hear leaves a mark on your soul and comes through you. Yeah.
All right, how about you?
You don't have to try to be anyone else.
Well, yeah, I guess you can't be anybody else. I mean, but you mentioned, I mean, that group of people that you mentioned.
Yeah, Adrian Smith was kind of interesting.
Yeah, I was going to say Adrian Smith was actually really interesting that you brought him up. I mean, was there something about his style of guitar playing that, or was it just the Iron Maiden thing altogether?
No, he's a phenomenal player. He does pick notes out of the air that are amazing, and he does have a very, he touches his guitar with finesse. I've always been a brute. I've come from the punk scene in the East Village in New York City. I had to learn what finesse was the hard way, and I still play with heavier strings than Adrian, and and my family's British, so of course the best rock bands come from, I really, who doesn't love Adrian's playing? Come on.
I'm not going to disagree. I'm not going to disagree with you.
Donick.
You just never.
Act like Donick. They're all great.
Yeah, you just never hear anybody ever say anything about Adrian Smith. He's just the guy in Iron Maiden. No one ever says, "Oh yeah, Adrian Smith's a great guitar player." It's just kind of odd that something you brought it up.
Really? Oh well, he's phenomenal. Yeah.
All right, Nikki. I guess I'll ask you influences on your end.
Well, I would say I have a lot of kind of the mod music influences. The musicianship of Robert Smith and, the style of The Cure and kind of the Depeche Mode scene and all of that was very influential on me. And Susie and the Banshees, James Addiction, Chili Peppers, all of those guys, they were, pretty significant in influencing my taste in rock music, alternative music.
All right, all good choices. All right, Melanie, what about you?
All right. Well, my drumming influences, I love gospel drummers. So, like Aaron Spears, Tony Roaster Jr., Thomas Pridgeon, I love those guys. But as far as bands go, I guess I grew up listening to the Beatles, and then, when I was allowed to watch MTV, it would be like Incubus or like the Mars Volta, which Thomas Pridgeon drums for, and really, and even jazz, so whether it be like Coltrane or like Wayne Shorter or Herbie Hancock, so just like a whole slew of stuff. And then I can go rap. I also love Drake and Lil Wayne too. So, I'm all over the boat.
Which is good in a way. You want to be heavily influenced by all genres of music. So,
yeah.
I mean, I agree. It kind of brings out the best in each musician, I think, at least. I mean, if you're just stuck in, listening to just hard rock, heavy metal, you're really not going to branch out and become a better musician. But, I mean, you guys seem like you have a lot of background experience in all the different genres of music, and it kind of comes across in the style of music you guys play. So I was going to ask you guys, if you can go back and see one band in its heyday, which band would it be?
The Ramones.
I think the Beatles.
I'm going with Led Zeppelin. Because I really just wanted to bang Robert Plant. I'm sorry.
Hey, at least she's honest about that. I mean...
Woo! Yeah.
Well, Robert Plant's still around,
Yeah, he's still around. You can still bang him.
The hot Robert Plant with the long blonde hair and what was ever going on in his pants. I have no idea, but I was rather curious. Yeah.
She sounds like she's going back to 1973. We can send her back if you want. You can meet him over at the Rainbow. You can meet him at the Rainbow.
There you go.
Yep.
I guess you could.
All right, so definitely Robert Plant. Going back to see Robert Plant, 1973. That's interesting. Okay, so where can people find out about Idyllwild and some of your upcoming shows? I know we talked about the one coming up on the 22nd of February, but what else you have in the works?
We're going to be playing out all spring and summer, hopping on some little tours around here and just around the U.S. And we'll keep you posted as to the finalized dates and everything. And our release is this spring. Another video also this spring will release. And like I said, we're doing a treatment for a musical, so that's really cool. And that's going to take a while, but we're starting with the first 3 of 15 songs. In the next couple of weeks, we'll be laying them down here in L.A.
Okay.
Green Day was like...
Yeah, I think Green Day with boobs.
And where could people find out about Idyllwild? You got a webpage. You're on Facebook, obviously. So
Facebook.com/Idyllwild, ReverbNation.com/Idyllwild, IDYLL.
Okay.
Wild, WILD, and then our website Idyllwildband.com is getting a makeover and getting all of our songs put up there to buy and download directly from our site. And we'll have a big announcement when that's back up.
Okay, here's the biggest, most important question of the whole interview. Spinal Tap moment for each and every one of you.
Oh, good God, there's so many.
They always say there's so many. I want the best one.
I spliced my wrist on stage in a suicide number, but stupidly I used a real razor with a fake blood pack, cut through the blood pack and sliced into my own wrist in New York City. Yeah, it was pretty dumb.
That's interesting.
I should have not used a real razor. I had a condom filled with chocolate syrup and red food dye, because that's what you use in theater, and I had it tied around my wrist with, like, fishnet stocking on it, so it looked like a cool wristy bracelet thing anyway. And then I used a real razor. I did this for many nights, but finally, one show, it just went through the syrup-filled condom into my wrist, and, yeah. Thankfully, I only had one more song to do. So I turned around and told the band I sliced my wrist, and then did the last song. The club in New York made me buy the microphone. They thought, you know, who knows what she has? It's all over the microphone. I'm like, thanks, guys. Anyway, I didn't. But it was pretty weird and memorable. And I finished the set. I didn't care that I sliced my wrist. I finished the set.
All right, Nikki, what about you?
So many. Probably having a baby on stage.
Whoa, baby.
What?
A baby on stage. A baby on stage.
I don't know, the sword fights, the fire eating, I would say the having the baby on stage. Yeah.
What is this, like a Renaissance fair or something? I mean,
Is Richie Blackmore?
yeah, is Richie Blackmore there?
It was a commedia dell'arte kind of show. Vignettes in between rock music, and one of the vignettes required me giving birth on stage. So, yeah.
I guess the question is, was it a boy or a girl?
You know, I don't remember. I don't think it had anything, actually.
These are two very interesting Spinal Tap stories.
It was
Yeah.
smooth, yeah.
We have a baby being born on stage,
Night baby.
and inadvertent suicide attempt.
Yeah, so I'm interested to see how Melanie's going to top those two.
Okay, I guess my Spinal Tap moment is I was playing a gig, and the stage is about 8 feet off the ground. But what I thought was black curtains and a concrete wall behind the stage was actually an 8-foot drop. So I leaned back in my drum in my drum throne, and I fell 8 feet back down the curtain, and then the rest of the band turned around and I was like, "Where'd the drums go?" And then they pointed and laughed as I fell over.
Well, did you finish the show?
I did.
All right. Now
8 feet. How high? 8 feet's pretty high.
Yeah, that's about.
And you're falling backwards, so you're like all of a sudden you're there, and all of a sudden, whoa.
Let me put that in perspective. Let me put that.
That's definitely a Spinal Tap moment.
Let's put that into perspective for you, Chris.
Yeah.
That's about two of you, Chris.
Yeah, it's about two of me falling backwards.
Exactly.
Oh, jeez. Interesting. All right, well, we want to thank you guys for coming on the Hard Rockology Show. So as we do with each and every guest, we have you guys introduce the next song taking us out of the segment.
Hey, this is Suzanne Slair. This is Melanie Dilorenzo.
Hey, it's Nikki Lee.
And we are Idyllwild.
Idyllwild!
And this is a new hit song to close the break coming at you. Yo.